Well. Welcome to your Mel's match at review of WWE Survivor Series 2023. Holy shit. He's back. I am floored. I was psyching myself up that he wasn't going to be there, and he is now back with WWE. I am floored. I'm floored. I'm beyond shocked right now. CM Punk is now back in WWE. Randy Orton's back in WWE. My fucking goddamn 20s is like coming back, and I love every fucking minute of it. I am 41 years old. I've never felt this crazy about wrestling in my entire life. Now, for the people who are pissed off at this whole situation, you know what? You can go fuck off. This is what makes him happy. This is what is going to be happening. And if you don't like it, tough fucking shit. All right? For once, I'm legitimately blown away. I'm sitting watching this. My son is sleeping in his room and getting ready. He was starting to get everything together, like it was starting to get the my my notes finished up and everything like that. And I heard it, and I'm like, they're fucking pulling our chain just to fuck with us. And I'm looking, and I see him walking out of the fucking entrance, the from the ramp, and I'm like, WWE just said to AEW, you want to go to war? So basically, they traded Adam Copeland for Phil Brooks, basically. And I think he's going to be kept on a very short leash. Liquid Death. Tonight's a Liquid Death night. As I'm telling you, Monday Night Raw is now must see. Who I would like to know. I'd love to know where the hell it is. If it wherever it is, whatever tickets that are going to be sold, that are haven't been sold, it's going to be a sellout, people. Really good Survivor Series. I enjoyed myself. It was legitimately. I couldn't believe how fast it was. 5 matches over in a blink of an eye, and everybody went fucking home happy. That is the best thing. The faces won at the end. Then you got CM Punk coming back. Picture perfect Survivor Series. Now we're going into deadline. I'm not going to give you. We're going to go into the Royal Rumble. If we got this, we're going to have an amazing Royal Rumble. I am totally down for it. So, I hope everybody's Thanksgiving weekend is going well. And I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving on Thursday. I did. Little known thing I told everybody on preview and predictions last night. My son, he's severely autistic, and I was cleaning the dishes from dinner, and he comes up out of nowhere, and he doesn't talk. He says to me, "Good job, mommy," and gives me a hug and gives me a kiss. And I'm like, for a parent, for a kid to do that, or a young man, because my son is 18, meant the world to me. I felt like he walked all over again. I was just blessed that day, and I think my mother sent him to say that to me, and knowing that it was going to mean everything to me. So just a little nice story. I think everybody's on a high right now. I am actually going I'm gonna be waiting because I have stuff going on for, that needs money. I've told you I will be buying that shirt. Woman of my word, like I did with Cody. Now I'm gonna do with CM Punk. But great fucking Survivor Series. Um, could have used a little bit more with Santos Escobar, but it's only the start, and there's going to be stuff going on with that, which we can wait. But let's get this going. Let's get this going. Let's get you in and out of here because I'm exhausted. Please do me a favor. Go check out the my rest of my content on my YouTube page. And while you're here, please like, share, and subscribe, and turn on the bell for all notifications. So I go live, you will know about it, or when I upload a video. Please check me out on Threads, Instagram, and Facebook. Go check me out on X, TikTok, and Cameo. Please also go check out the people over at Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com. Visit their website for all your beard essentials. If you have a beard, go get it. These are great gift ideas. Please do me a favor, go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com and um, go check out all their artillery to murder your thirst. They have unflavored salsa water, which I'm drinking right now, the OG drink, regular spring water, flavored sparkling water, and iced tea. They make perfect mixers for all the adults who drink. And please drink responsibly. I'm going to start saying that so people don't think I'm just promoting to get people drunk. So please do me a favor. Go check out the people over at Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. And please check out their merchandise. They're awesome. Also, if you support independent wrestling, please check out House of Glory at houseofglory.com. And their next event is this weekend coming up, which is Darkest Hour. We have the matches as followed: Matt Cardona versus Mike Santana for the Hog Heavyweight title. Gringo Loco will be in action. Nola Katana versus Kevin Blackwood for the Cruiserweight Championship. Grizzled Young Veterans versus the main event for the tag team titles. Swerve Strickland versus Mike Bailey. Charles Mason versus Carlos Ramirez for the Crown Jewel Championship. Cash Flow versus Encore. Violet versus Kiki for the House of Glory Women's Championship. So, hi, Alyssa. You must be thrilled Cody won. So let's start with the first match. The first match was the opening match with the Women's War Games match. We had Damage Control, which is Io Sky, Asuka, Bailey, and Kairi Sane versus Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Shotzi Blackheart, and Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch went out and she started for her team, while Bailey will kick things off for her team as well. The stage is set for an epic battle between these two teams. The action in the Women's War Games match was heating up as Becky Lynch and Bailey engaged in brutal exchange. Becky takes control early by sending Bailey into the turnbuckles and then crashing her into the steel cage. However, Bailey fights back with a series of punches. Becky responds with a flying forearm and attempts to put Bailey on the turnbuckles for a suplex, but Bailey manages to block it. Becky then knocks off Bailey off the turnbuckles, and through Bailey counters with a well-placed kick, and the two exchange forearms. Becky regains the upper hand with the back heel kick and a clothesline. She follows it with a forearm in the corner and an exploder suplex. However, Bailey turns the tide by sending Becky into the cage. The action spills between the two rings where Bailey attempts a suplex onto a metal plate. Becky manages to block it, but Bailey eventually hits a suplex on the unforgiving metal surface, inflicting significant damage. The Women's War Games match continues to intensify as Bailey launches a series of punches at Becky and follows it up with an elbow to the back of the head. However, Becky retaliates by sending Bailey crashing into the steel cage and then delivering two baseball slides to Bailey against the cage. She then applies the disarmor submission hold on Bailey, looking to make her tap out, but you can't do that because it's not the game. The match hasn't technically really started. Dakota Kai interferes by hitting Becky with a kendo stick, forcing her to release the hold. Dakota places the kendo stick inside the cage, and Bailey retrieves it, using it to strike Becky. The next entrant, Shotzi Blackheart, enters the match. Bailey attempts to close the door, but Shotzi slams it into Bailey's head. Shotzi fetches chairs and trash can from underneath the ring, placing the trash can inside the cage and arranging the chairs. She uses a chair on Bailey and hits a crossbody off the turnbuckles. Shotzi further punishes Bailey by slamming her head into the mat, performing a back senton onto the ropes. However, Shotzi misses a suicide dive and lands on her head. Becky and Shotzi engage in the tug of war over kendo stick, with Becky eventually using it to strike Bailey. Shotzi grabs a chair and together with Becky, they corner Bailey between the rings. Bailey climbs the cage and Shotzi and Becky stop her. Becky and Shotzi then send Bailey into the cage. Next entrant, sorry. Io Sky joins the match. Becky and Shotzi target Bailey with kicks, but Io grabs a chain and uses it to hit Becky and Shotzi. She beals Shotzi with the chain and sends Becky between the rings. Io executes a double jump springboard drop kick on Shotzi and Becky, followed by a running double knee strike to both competitors. Io retrieves a trash can and hands it to Bailey. She walks the ropes and hits a forearm to Bailey while Becky is back into the turnbuckles. Becky fights back by kicking Io and Bailey from the turnbuckles. Bailey and Io attempt a double suplex on Becky, but she resists. However, they manage to execute a double suplex on her. Eventually, Bailey gets a chair and Io pulls Shotzi into the ring first. Into the first ring. Bailey kicks Shotzi while Io focuses on Becky. They set up a double suplex on Shotzi. Next entrant, Bianca Belair, arrives and puts a stop to a double suplex attempt. She uses her hair to whip Io and Bailey and continues to whip them, gaining control of the situation. Asuka then enters the match with kendo sticks and after some crowd pleasing antics, retrieves a table and a fire extinguisher. Damage Control takes control in the far ring, wielding kendo sticks and attacking Charlotte, Bianca, and Becky and Shotzi Blackheart. Becky manages to punch Asuka, but Bailey strikes her with a kendo stick. Charlotte, Bianca, Bailey, and Shotzi find themselves tied up in chairs, leading a quadruple drop kick. Kairi Sane places a trash can over Becky and hits it, causing damage. Asuka uses a mist spray on Shotzi, followed by a missile drop kick for a near fall. Kairi kicks Bianca in the ribs, and together with Asuka, they set up a table with Bailey's assistant. Io Sky hits Becky with a kendo stick. Asuka and Io grab Charlotte, positioning her for a double suplex, but Bianca and Becky Lynch intervened with double power bombs. Charlotte climbs to the top of the cage and executes a moonsault, hitting Io Sky and causing everyone to go down. Charlotte gets a near fall on Bailey. Yeah, no shit. Sorry. I was reading something. Sorry. Bailey strikes Charlotte with a forearm, and Charlotte responds with a boot to Bailey. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Lynch work together, delivering kicks and executing a double suplex on Io Sky. They followed up with a double power bomb on Kairi Sane. Charlotte and Becky share a moment of camaraderie, culminating in a hug. Asuka and Io attempt roll-ups, but they both manage to escape. Becky Lynch takes down Asuka with a butterfly takedown while Charlotte applies the figure four and bridges. Becky simultaneously applies the disarmer to Asuka, but Bailey interferes, breaking up the figure four. Kairi Sane goes for an elbow drop, but Becky gets her knees up and transitions into a disarmer. Once again, Bailey delivers a knee, and Shotzi Blackheart hits a missile dropkick on Asuka, while on Bianca's shoulders, nearly getting the win. The match remains incredibly intense and unpredictable. Becky Lynch and Kairi Sane engaged in a fierce punch exchanges with Becky, ultimately countered Kairi backfist attempt with the reverse DDT. Bailey interferes with a rose plant on Becky, but Shotzi Blackheart prevents her from doing more damage. Meanwhile, Bianca Belair uses the fire extinguisher to blind Asuka. Io Sky strikes Bianca with a chair, but Shotzi hits Io with a tiger suplex. Io retaliates by hitting Shotzi with a trash can. Charlotte Flair enters the fray with a boot to Io Sky. Becky, trying to protect Kairi Sane, ends up taking a spear from Charlotte. Shotzi delivers a kick to Bailey, followed by Bianca hitting the KOD on Bailey, then places Bailey on the turnbuckles for Becky Lynch to execute a manhandle slam through the table, securing the victory for their teams. So the good guys, or the good people, won. The faces won. Give me a second. So we go to the back. Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, and Alpha Academy are seen backstage. Chelsea mentions that Chicago would have embraced her, and Piper adds that they would have appreciated their presence. In the Ruffles Lounge, Pretty Deadly enters and engages in friendly discussion about potato chips, or as Otis calls them, crisps. They playfully argue about correcting terminology because Pretty Deadly is from England, and those are, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they are chips, but when they talk about French fries, they're also called chips, which makes no sense at all. Doesn't make They don't correlate with one another. Well, anywho, so they're fighting about the terminology. R-Truth suddenly appears, grabs the bowl of chips, and humorously asserts that they are not chips or crisp, but they're ruffles. He encourages everyone to come together while watching Akira Tozawa perform the Ruffle Shuffle. I'm telling you, this was the worst part about the entire night. Meanwhile, backstage, Sami and Zayn and Jey Uso have a conversation about their readiness for their upcoming match. Sami expresses concern that Randy Orton is not present, and Jey suggests that Randy may not want to team with them after what they previously put him on the shelf. Jey feels responsible if Randy doesn't show up, but Sami emphasizes their history and their strength they gained from their past battles, including War Games. Sami is hopeful that their partnership will prove successful once again tonight. WWE Intercontinental Championship, Gunther versus The Miz. The action kicks off with The Miz targeting Gunther's leg. Miz delivers a couple of kicks to the leg and follows it up with a wrist lock. Gunther responds with a kick of his own. They lock up, and Gunther backs Miz into the corner. Gunther attempts a chop, but Miz counters with a chop of his own. They engaged in tests of strength, and the Miz kick and blocked by Gunther, who then chops Miz, sending him to the mat. Miz retaliated with a kick to Gunther's head and continues with punches. Miz goes to the turnbuckle and lands punches on Gunther. He follows up with a boot to Gunther's midsection for more punches. Miz delivers another punch and then rolls to the floor from the outside. Miz grabs Gunther's leg and slams it onto the apron multiple times. Continues to target Gunther's leg by ringing into the ring post, setting up for a potential figure four leg lock around the ring post. The match is filled with intense moments and strategy as both competitors look to gain the upper hand. The match between Miz and Gunther continues, with Miz attempting a lock in the figure four leg lock around the ring post. However, Gunther manages to counter Miz's springboard move with a boot to the head. Gunther follows up with a series of chops and boots to Miz's head. Miz fights back with a kick and more chops of his own. Gunther blocks a kick, chops Miz, and executes a powerful slam. Gunther kicks Miz and engages in some trash talk with him. Miz struggles to regain his footing, but Gunther sets up for a power bomb. However, it takes too long, allowing Miz to counter with a punch and a Hurricane Rana. Miz then targets Gunther's leg, delivering a series of kicks. Miz puts Gunther's leg in the ropes and drops a knee onto it, causing Gunther to start limping. Miz continues his assault with more kicks to the leg, targeting both back and knee. Miz sets up for a roundhouse kick, connects it follows up with another kick and more strikes to the midsection. Gunther retreats and to the turnbuckle, but Miz charges in with a running knee to the corner. Gunther responds with a chop. Miz counters with a tornado DDT attempt to secure a pinfall, but Gunther manages to kick out, showing his resilience in the match. Miz attempts a skull-crushing finale, but Gunther manages to escape and responds with a well-executed dropkick. Gunther then follows up with a powerbomb, but it is only enough for a near fall. Gunther doesn't hold back, slapping Miz and kicking him in the back of the head. He applies the sleeper on Miz, trying to wear him down. However, Miz reaches for the rope, indicating determination to stay in the match. Miz is looking for an opportunity, climbs the turnbuckle and pulls off the turnbuckle pad while still caught in Gunther's sleeper hold. Miz kicks Gunther in the knee and delivers a low blow when the referee is preoccupied with fixing the turnbuckle pad. Miz hits Gunther with a skull-crushing finale, but it only could secure a near fall. Gunther manages to avoid another skull-crushing finale attempt, and Miz ends up running Gunther into the exposed turnbuckle. Miz leans back for another pin attempt, but Gunther kicks out once more. Gunther fights back with a chop, and Miz responds with a kick. Gunther, showing his resilience, delivers a clothesline to the Miz and heads up to the top turnbuckle, preparing for a frog splash. The match remains highly competitive and unpredictable as both competitors give it their all. The match final moments, Gunther demonstrates his resilience and technical prowess. He manages to escape skull-crushing finale attempt by Miz and responded with a dropkick, followed by a powerful powerbomb that earns him a near fall. Gunther slaps Miz and delivers a kick to the back of the head before applying a sleeper hold. Miz desperately reaches for the ropes, but Gunther maintains the hold, resorted by crafty tactics by climbing the turnbuckles and removing the turnbuckle pad. While the referee fixed the exposed turnbuckle, Miz delivered a low blow to Gunther, allowing him to hit a skull-crushing finale. However, Gunther kicked out and displayed incredible resistance. I think I just read that. So Gunther retaliated with a chop, and Miz responded with a kick. Gunther answered with a clothesline and then climbed up to the top turnbuckle where frog splash landed on Miz's back. Gunther then set up for a Boston Crab, locking in and pulling Miz into the center of the ring. He transitioned into a lion tamer, forcing Miz to tap out, and Gunther retains. Now, I was listening to this, and not only did they did they mention Ric Flair, but they also mentioned Edge in this match. And I'm like, oh my God, Vince McMahon is having fucking palpitations listening to this. Because I know he's somewhere in fucking Connecticut listening to this shit. And he's probably like, that son of a bitch and fucking my goddamn son-in-law. He fucking is allowing Michael Cole to mention former WWE superstars. They're in the fucking AEW and this, that, and the other thing. So the commentators discussed the implication on a 5-on-4 match for at the Judgment Day, and Damian Priest mentioned that he would discuss the situation with Drew McIntyre. The match showcased the physical and mental toughness of both competitors. Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee. Now, originally, it was going to be Carlito versus Santos Escobar, but Santos Escobar put him out for a couple of weeks. What the hell is what's going on here? He doesn't want to get in the ring, or he doesn't want to, do these things. I mean, it's a payday. I don't understand why Dragon Lee is being in this situation. I don't understand. You know. Breaking news: TKO wanted CM Punk. Just a little FYI. So the match between Dragon Lee and Escobar kicks off with Santos taking the early advantage as the bell rings. Santos delivers a flurry of forearms and kicks to his opponent. He follows up with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, resulting in a near fall. Santos continues his assault with kicks to the back and places Dragon Lee in a tree of woe position. He proceeds to kick Lee while the referee issues a warning. Santos then executes a hesitation dropkick in the corner, earning another near fall. He lands a punch and sets up a running double knee strike, successfully connecting with Lee. I'm telling you, if Lee went to AEW, he wouldn't be in this position at all. Dragon Lee is sent to the outside, subsequently introducing to the ring steps by Santos. Santos places Lee's leg inside the steps and threatens to break it, but Lee managed to elbow his way out of the predicament. Lee retaliates with a thrust kick and gets back into the ring. Dragon Lee builds momentum, hitting a running knee and to the head for a near fall. He lifts Santos onto the shoulders and slams him to the mat. Lee climbs to the turnbuckles, but Santos attempts to stop him. Lee fights back with punches, sending Santos to the mat. Lee kicks Santos against the turnbuckles and returns to the top rope. He punches Santos, then Santos tries to halt him, and then he kicks Santos off the turnbuckles. Santos ends up on the apron, and Lee follows with a elbow strike to the head. Santos pulls up Lee to the turnbuckle, looking to execute a suplex. However, Lee fights back with punches, sending Santos into the tree of woe position. Lee then performs a double stomp on Santos, earning a near fall in the process. Dragon Lee charges forward, but walks right into a super kick from Santos Escobar, causing both competitors to collapse to the mat, with each man feeling the effects of the grueling match. They slowly get back to their feet. Lee and Santos exchange forearms, showcasing their determination and willpower. Santos gains the upper hand with a series of forearms, but Dragon Lee retaliates with a jumping knee strike to create some separation. Lee capitalizes on the opportunity and executes a sit-out powerbomb on Santos, going for the pin attempt. However, Santos manages to kick out, displaying his resilience and refusal to give in. Dragon Lee charges forward, but falls victim to a sudden super kick from Santos Escobar, resulting in both men being laid out on the canvas, drained from the intense match. With the determination in their eyes, Lee Santos engaged in a forearm exchange, each trying to gain the upper hand. Santos initially gains the advantage, but Lee surprises him with a jumping knee strike. Santos retaliates with a knee strike of his own, keeping the battle evenly matched. Dragon Lee attempts to execute his finishing maneuver, Destino. Now, if you're saying to yourself, that sounds awfully familiar. Um, Tetsu Naito from New Japan does a similar move. So just get used to it. And in fact, I just want to make everybody aware I will be covering New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 18. Okay, so look for that. I'm not doing New Year's Dash. I want to enjoy that. I don't want to think on that day. All right. But definitely New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom, I will be covering that. I don't know if I'm going to get up early in the morning. That remains to be seen. But Santos counters with a destroyer followed by a devastating phantom driver. The impact is enough to secure the 3 count, granting Santos Escobar victory in this thrilling contest. Santos Escobar picks up and very well needed. I could use more Santos and Dragon Lee. Yes. The match concludes and anticipation builds to come, including the arrival of the New Day in the Slim Jim car. If you take a look at the commercial with the Slim Jim, it was like a blast from the past with LA Knight being the future, and I like that. That's pretty cool, and they're still keeping the elements of Macho Man. God rest his soul. Now, if you thought that Rhea Ripley was going to lose the title before WrestleMania, she's going to go back to her home country in February. Do you think they're going to take the title off of her now and then put it back on her? No, this is what's going to happen. She's going to defend the title in the main event. She is going to not do it in the Elimination Chamber. She's going to do it, and I believe my heart of hearts, I think that it's going to be somebody from NXT that's going to get that opportunity. Or it could be Indy Hartwell. 2 Australians. Book it. Pay me. Pay me right now. Oh my Christ. Okay. Raw Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Starks. The match between Rhea Ripley and Zoe Starks gets off to an intense start as they exchange words right before trading slaps. Zoe Starks takes an initiative with double leg takedown followed by punches. Rhea Ripley responds with punches of her own. The two continue their heated exchange. Stark gains the upper hand and momentarily delivering drop kick that sends Rhea to the floor. She did a good job by selling for her and putting her over in a losing fashion, by the way. Zoe Stark seizes the opportunity and climbs to the top rope, hitting a crossbody onto Rhea Ripley on the outside. She then sends Rhea back into the ring and executes a springboard dropkick, earning a near fall. Stark is sent to the apron, but she has managed to land punches. She attempts a springboard move, but Ripley counters with a headbutt, stopping Stark in her tracks on the apron. Rhea goes to the apron looking to suplex Stark on the apron, but Zoe Stark blocks it and counters with a forearm and kicks, followed by a DDT on the apron. Stark then hits a springboard twisting senton for another near fall. Rhea Ripley retreats to the floor where Zoe Starks lands a kick from the apron. However, Starks misses a boot off the apron and a kick. Rhea Ripley takes advantage by getting Stark on her shoulders and dropping her face first to the apron. Ripley sends Stark back into the ring and unleashes a fury of punches and forearms. She follows up with the headbutts and sets up for a wrist clutch powerbomb, but Zoe Starks blocks it. Ripley adapts, turning into a suplex for a near fall. Ripley continues her offense with knees to the back and stretches. Zoe Starks. Starks responded with a curb stomp and boots to the back, but Rhea counters with a drop kick. Zoe Starks retaliates with a forearm and a jawbreaker, followed by a kick to the head. Rhea Ripley answers with a clothesline on into the corner and places Stark on the turnbuckle. Rhea Ripley delivers chops and forearms by climbing the turnbuckles. Zoe Starks fights back with punches and Ripley slaps her. Both women land on their feet after a struggle, and Zoe Starks hits a kick for a near fall. Starks attempts a kick that Rhea Ripley counters. Ripley goes for a gory buster, but Starks counters with a victory roll for another near fall. Rhea Ripley performs a back elbow and jawbreaker, followed by a kick to the head. She then executes a belly back setup into a gory buster and follows it with a belly to back suplex for yet another near fall. Ripley pie-faced Zoe Stark, who challenges Ripley to hit her. Ripley sets up for a riptide, and despite Zoe Stark's effort to escape, Ripley executes the move successfully. She pins Stark for a 3 count, retaining her championship in a hard-fought battle. Rhea Ripley is the winner, and I'm fucking thrilled. Okay, I had to represent tonight. I had to. They have a new shirt out. I don't like it. If they come out with black, I will be getting it. That'll be 2 shirts that I gotta get. In the back, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso express concerns about Randy Orton's absence. Cody Rhodes enters the scene with the reassurance, stating that Randy will indeed make his presence known later on. Despite the uncertainty, Cody appears confident that Randy Orton will join them for their match. And then Seth says, I got to go to war. We got to go to war. If I'm not mistaken, I think Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins made history for the first time ever that a husband and wife went into war games on the same night, if I'm not mistaken, in the main roster. It could be, I think it may be also held by Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae, but that was in an NXT. This is on the main roster. So I'm just putting that out there. Just a little factoid. I know I swear to Christ, these factoids are kicking my ass. So we have Judgment Day with Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins. The men's War Games match begins with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. Thank God Dominic didn't start. As the starting competitors, as soon as the match kicks off, Seth Rollins wastes no time, immediately launches himself with a suicide dive onto Finn Balor, followed by a series of punches to gain the early advantage. Seth attempts to send Finn into the cage, but Finn reverses it and sends Seth into the steel structure. Finn Balor maintains control, delivering a chop to Seth, and once again using the cage as a weapon. Finn sends Seth into the cage for a third time. He follows up with a sling blade to further damage Seth Rollins. However, Seth managed to recover quickly and hits a super kick on Finn. Seth Rollins attempts a pedigree on the metal plate located between the rings, but Finn Balor counters with a back body drop. Finn then misses a coup de grace attempt, allowing Seth to regain control. Seth performs a sling blade on Finn, followed by a series of punches and forearms. He then executes an Irish whip and charges into the corner with a forearm strike. Seth proceeds with a backbreaker and a running boot to Finn's head, continuing to punish his opponent as the match progresses. JD McDonough is next entrant, but as he tries to enter the cage, Seth Rollins kicks him. Finn Balor takes advantage of the situation and starts delivering shoulders to the corner of Seth. However, Seth manages to regain control briefly before JD McDonough introduces kendo sticks into the match. JD and Finn use kendo sticks to attack Seth, choking him and delivering shots. Finn uses the kendo stick to choke Seth Rollins. The two of them perform a double suplex on Seth Rollins. Jey Uso enters as the following entrant. He brings a chair into the cage, using it to hit JD in the ribs and back. He also uses the chair to strike Finn Balor. Jey and Seth work together to assault JD McDonough. However, Seth and Jey partnership is short-lived as JD fights back and executes a Spanish fly. Seth Rollins comes to Jey Uso's aid on a double suplex attempt, and they both deliver double super kicks to Finn and JD. Jey Uso shoulders Finn in the corner while Seth punches him. Seth performs a double sledge off the ropes to Finn, and Jay continues to choke JD. Damian Priest is supposed to be next entered, but Drew wants to change the plan. Despite Drew's intention, Damian Priest enters the match. Seth and Jay try to attack him, but Priest fights back and delivers a broken arrow to Jay, followed by a leaping flatliner to Seth. Priest goes up top and performs a cannonball off the top rope onto Seth and Jay. Priest punches Seth and kicks him as well. Finn and Jay continue to work on Jay in the corner, and Finn hits Jay with it multiple times before placing it on him. Sami Zayn is next entrant. He grabs a kendo stick from JD, using it to hit him. Sami slams the cage door into Finn's head. Back in the ring, Seth, Jay, and Priest pull a table into the ring. Priest delivers a forearm to Jay, and Sami clothesline Priest over the top rope between the rings. Sami kicks Priest between the rings and proceeds to execute a Blue Thunder Bomb on Finn. Sami goes up top and he goes to the top of the cage, but JD climbs up after him. JD and Sami engage in a fight on the top rope, and JD falls awkwardly onto the top rope. Sami grabs a pipe from the top of the cage and uses it to attack JD. Finn and Priest. Sami kicks Finn and punches him, followed by choking him in the corner. He also punches JD, and Jay kicks and punches Priest. Seth and Sami take turns pinballing JD back and forth between them, delivering shots to him. Seth chops Finn, and then Sami strikes Finn in the back with a kendo stick, and the kendo stick is sent out of the cage. Drew McIntyre is the next entrant, and he immediately make it impact with a spinebuster to Seth. Drew then runs Sami into the corner and executes an overhead belly-to-belly suplex on him. He follows up with an elbow to Seth and an Alabama Gory Buster on Seth onto Sami. Drew heads into the other ring where Jey Uso is alone. Drew and Jay exchange punches, with Drew gaining in the upper hand. He sets up for a future shock DDT, but Jay manages to escape. Jay retaliates with an uppercut, but Drew responds with a neck breaker. Drew sends Jay into the cage, attempting to make him acknowledge his actions before lawn darting him into the cage. Finn punches Sami, and Priest tries to punch Sami as well, but Sami blocks it and counters with punches. JD delivers a kick and more punches, and Jay hits Drew with a super kick and goes for a Claymore. Jay and Sami team up for a 1D on Drew while Priest kicks Jay, and Finn strikes Sami from behind. Cody Rhodes enters the ring. I just want to make this apparent. There are 3 superstars that are from Generations. That was their first War Games. We had Charlotte Flair, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes. Their fathers, God rest Dusty Rhodes, they're all smiling. Ric Flair must be fucking going out of his mind. He was probably pissed that he couldn't even be there, because I know that he couldn't be there because he was with probably with AEW in Pennsylvania. So he couldn't be there, which he was probably pissed, but you wanted to sign with AEW, this is what you got to do. I know for a fact that Bob Orton was watching, and he must have had a smile on his face. So this was a special night for those 3 superstars. And I'm even, I know that Charlotte must have been pissed, but this is what she was signing up for. And if fucking Rick would have held on another fucking 2 months, he could have seen his daughter be in War Games, and then he could have signed. That was his stupidity, nothing else. So Cody Rhodes enters as the next entrant and avoids the baton, hitting a drop-down uppercut. Priest is sent into the cage multiple times. Cody punches JD and performs a clothesline. JD is then subjected to an Irish whip, but Cody floats over and delivers a back body drop. Cody follows up with a gory buster on JD onto Finn. Cody retrieves a bull rope with Seth attempts to grab it, but Cody makes it clear it's not for Seth. They proceed to clothesline JD, and Seth uses the cowbell to strike Finn. They both pull the rope into Finn's groin area, and Seth questions if he is coming. Cody kicks Priest while Sammy kicks and chokes JD. Finn delivers shoulders to Sammy. Dominic Mysterio's next entrant, and I thought somebody was going to get him. I thought maybe he was going to be taken out, and CM Punk was going to join them and kind of leave Dominic out of this and give Judgment Day a little bit more of a better chance. But whatever at this point. And a little factoid on Dominic. Rey Mysterio was never in a War Games. So this is something first for his family, and that is awesome. And he goes after Cody, hitting him in the back. Dom executed a double leg takedown and punches Seth. He kicks Sammy and Jay, followed it up with a suplex on Cody and holding on for 1 second. Dom sets up for a third amigo, but Seth, Sammy, and Jay work together to prevent Dom from completing it. The opponents of Dom's team all punch and kick him. Cody punches Dom and sends him between the ring. Seth sends Finn into the turnbuckles. Cody punches Dom, and Seth and Sammy begin to set up a table against the turnbuckles. Seth sets up a turnbuckle bomb, but Dom teammates come to his rescue. Dom punches Jay, and Drew joins in. Sammy sent into the turnbuckles by Priest and Drew have a tense stare down in the ring. The War Games match concluded with Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn defeating Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough. After a thrilling match, Cody Rhodes pinned Dominic Mysterio to secure the victory for his team. But before that, Rhea Ripley came out. I was like, oh my God, my fucking prediction is going to be right. I really thought that was going to happen. And holy shit. So following the match, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn hugged Randy Orton, and the victorious babyface celebrated their win by raising their arms. As the show seemed to be coming to a close, the credits were coming. I'm like, something's happening. I felt it. The crowd was treated to a surprise appearance by CM Punk. Punk made his way to the stage, and the fans erupted in a massive CM Punk chants. Punk knelt down, patted his hand on the ground, checked his watch, and said, "It's clobbering time." And the fans completed the iconic phrase. Punk acknowledged the crowd, celebrated with the fans along the barricade, and asked, "Whose town is it?" The fans chanted Chicago repeatedly. Punk continued to interact with the audience, and the crowd excitement reached a fever pitch. And everybody went home happy. See, Vince, please send this to Vince. This is what happens when you have a successful pay-per-view. You have people go home happy. You don't have them going that they want to fucking storm to Connecticut with pitchforks and they want to kill your ass. So this is how it goes. This is what happens. This is what happens when you have a successful pay-per-view. This was a fucking great pay-per-view, and I loved every fucking minute of it. Monday night is going to be the fucking. I cannot wait till Monday night. Now it's now. This is appointment television now. People get it. I don't know where he's going, but he's going to be He's going to be. He's probably going to be able to go anywhere he wants now. NXT, I love to see him on NXT. I love to see him on SmackDown, and definitely he's going to be on Monday Night Raw. And I would not be surprised if this is going to secure Monday Night Raw for wherever they go, because they're going to want CM Punk on Raw, and he's going to be the face. And I wouldn't be surprised. We're going to have Seth Rollins versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. And I'm all for it because we had a taste of it in NXT when CM Punk was the WWE champion and Seth Rollins was the NXT champion. So it was a great night of wrestling. Great night of wrestling. Please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications. When I go live, you will know about it, or when I upload a video. Please check me out on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, X, and TikTok. Please also check me out on Cameo. It's $5 per video. Go and check me out. Please also go check out my Astro Classics at myastroclassics.com and go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. Please go check out Deathwish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. And please go check out HOG Wrestling, House of Glory. Their next event is on December 1st, Darkest Hour. The matches are as followed. Matt Cardona versus Mike Santana for the Hog Heavyweight title. Gringo Loco will be in action. Nolo Katana versus Kevin Blackwood for the Cruiserweight Championship. Grizzled Young Veterans taking on main event for the tag team titles. Swerve Strickland versus Mike Bailey. Charles Mason versus Carlos Ramirez for the Crown Jewel Championship. Cash Flow versus Encore. Violet versus Kiki for the House of Glory Women's Championship. And if you can't get your tickets, and there's no more tickets but if you can get them, check it out at hogwrestling.net. But if you can't, the event will be streaming on the Premiere app for $9.99 a month. I will be back here this Friday for episode 317. Please go check out the rest of my content on my YouTube channel. I did the review of AEW Full Gear 2023. Episode 316 was I went live on Wednesday. And so you got plenty of stuff to go check out. I love you all. And it's clobbering time. CM Punk has come back home, and things are going to get fucking nuts. And I love it. I will see you Friday, and enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend, because I will. Good night, all.